Life is full of unexpected turns. We all face challenges, moments of hardship, and times when everything seems to be falling apart. It's easy to feel like a setback is the end, but in reality, it's often just the beginning of something greater. Today I'm taking you on a journey from setback to comeback through the eyes of the Bible. We'll learn from the lives of those who faced immense trials but rose above them with faith and perseverance. Let's start with Joseph. His story, found in Genesis 37:50, begins with a family betrayal. His brothers, jealous of his special relationship with their father, sold him into slavery. Joseph's life took a drastic turn for the worse, but his story didn't end there. Though Joseph was unjustly imprisoned in Egypt, he never lost his faith in God. His integrity and wisdom were recognized by Pharaoh himself, leading to his rise to power. Joseph became a ruler in Egypt and saved many lives during a devastating famine. Joseph's setback became the platform for his greatest comeback. He saw that what his brothers intended for harm, God had used for good. In life, we often face moments that seem impossible to overcome. Job experienced such a moment. The story of Job shows a man who lost everything: his wealth, health, and family. Yet Job never cursed God despite his suffering. Instead, he sought understanding, endured patiently, and held on to his faith. In the end, Job's faithfulness was rewarded. God restored Job's fortunes, giving him twice as much as he had before. Job's story teaches us that even in the darkest moments, if we hold on to our faith, there can be restoration and blessing ahead. Next, let's look at David. A man after God's own heart who faced setbacks of his own. David's story teaches us that even the greatest can fall, but God's grace offers the chance for redemption. David's moral failure with Bathsheba was a devastating setback. His sin led to the loss of a child, a broken relationship, and inner turmoil. But David didn't stay in his failure. He repented sincerely, sought God's forgiveness, and allowed God to restore him. Psalm 51 reveals David's desire for restoration. And God, in his mercy, restored David, continuing to use him for his purposes. Finally, let's consider Peter. Peter, a bold and passionate disciple, faced a heartbreaking setback when he denied Jesus 3 times. After Jesus' arrest, Peter, in his fear and shame, denied even knowing him. The pain of that moment weighed heavily on him, but Peter's story didn't end with denial. After Jesus' resurrection, he appeared to Peter and gave him the chance to be restored. Jesus asked Peter 3 times, "Do you love me?" In that moment, Peter was reinstated as a leader of the early church. Peter's comeback was one of the greatest in the Bible. From fear and failure, he became one of the pillars of the early Christian church, preaching with boldness and leading others to Christ. So what do these stories teach us? Life will inevitably bring setbacks, times when we fall, when things don't go as planned, and when the road ahead seems uncertain. But just like Joseph, Job, David, and Peter, we can experience a comeback. A comeback is not defined by what happens to us, but by how we respond to the challenges we face. Will we remain faithful even when the road is tough? Will we trust that God can use our setbacks for His purpose? The truth is, your setback is not the end of your story. With faith, perseverance, and God's grace, you too can experience a powerful comeback. Remember, it's not about how many times we fall, but how many times we rise again. Your setback is just the beginning of your comeback story. Thank you for watching. May you find strength in your setbacks and faith in your comebacks.